why the Broncos have far bigger concerns than just Bo Nix's overthrows. Michael Penix Jr. Struggles are worrisome. He started 6 games. Texans C.J. Stroud. Is he playing his way out of an extension? Oh, my God. Outside of 4 quarterbacks on the planet, Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, and Burrow, quarterback play is circumstantial. Who's your coach? Who's your coordinator? What's your O-line like? There's 4 exceptions. I mean, even Matt Stafford, before Sean McVay, 0 playoff wins. Even Justin Herbert, who's a leading candidate today for the MVP, 500 record with Brandon Staley. Okay, so it's circumstance. Now, with young quarterbacks, it's almost entirely circumstantial. Do you know, you got to learn the language. You got to learn the locker room. You got to learn the coordinator's playbook. You got to learn the tricks. You got to learn the league. So people tend to forget, and I love Mahomes, and we all do. Patrick Mahomes got the perfect situation. He didn't have to play for a year. He got the best offensive coach or coach in the sport. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce when he finally got a start, and a good O-line. And oh, by the way, the Chiefs had made the playoffs for 3 straight seasons. And Alex Smith, he acknowledges, was an unbelievable mentor. Now, Mahomes took that momentum and became very quickly the best quarterback talent in the league. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve credit, but it should be noted that Bo Nix, C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Cam Ward, Caleb Williams, and mostly Drake May, yeah, you're starting in the first month, and we have no momentum. We're not very good. O-line, defense, got to win by shootout. So those guys not only had to play right away, but they didn't have nearly as good of a roster as Lamar had, or Josh Allen had, or certainly what Patrick Mahomes had. So much. My take has always been on young quarterbacks. Trust your eyes. Do they look overwhelmed? J.J. McCarthy? Probably are. Do you see a great trait? Something, took me a while to figure out Jalen Hurts, but do you see a great trait? And then as long as they have, reportedly, a very good work ethic, they're committed, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Baker Mayfield, when he can plant and throw, has a world-class arm. He's accurate when he can step and throw. Sam Darnold was too damn athletic and talented with a big arm not to eventually work somewhere. He was totally committed. That's why I don't give up on Darnold. He's just too talented. I see traits. With Kenny Pickett or Mitch Trubisky, I never saw the trait. I just never saw the thing that I went, wow. People knock Kyler Murray. I've said for years, he's incredibly elusive and throws one of the prettiest balls in the league. There's just too much talent there for him. His issue has been, is he totally committed? His own owner has questioned that. His own GMs have. So my takeaway on all these quarterbacks, for the record, go look at Bo Nix's schedule the next month. It lightens up considerably. Penix, little worrisome, but I like him. I see accuracy, arm. I see a trait I love.
Yeah, I really want to focus on picks here. Because it's just people are trying to dunk on Bo Nix, and I'll have none of it here. I'll have absolutely none of it here. I've been speaking about the greatness of Bo Nix and how successful him and the Denver Broncos can be since before he was ever drafted. And when he got drafted and everybody was making fun of it and whatnot, I was like, you're ridiculous. So I've been on it from the jump. But before we get started, I do want to ask Denver Broncos fans, please do subscribe. I want to keep making Denver Broncos content. I want to keep talking about Bo Nix. I really believe in them. And the best possible way to support me is to subscribe and watch the whole video. Just watch the entire video. It is without a shadow of a doubt the best way to support me. I'm not here trying to get you to add a download an app and a bonus code and a discount code. Use code Julian W. Lucas Sportser. I'm not out here trying to do that. I don't have any other ads where I'm trying to get you to buy this shirt and this product, these headphones. None of that. It's just the best way to support me and to help me be able to keep making Denver Broncos content is by subscribing and watching this video, watching any of the Broncos videos, any of the videos just in general, and watching majority of the video as much as you can. It's the best possible way to support me. And I'm I'm motivated, I'm inspired, I'm done just messing around. I'm done with just a feeling of like, yeah, we're just gonna make some videos and post them and see what happens. It's like I I want to build something just so ridiculously special. I just want to build the best possible community that I'm capable of building here. And I just want to get after it. And I'm just as focused. Listen to me. I'm stumbling over my words because I cannot be any more fired up right now. And it is real talk. And the Broncos are one of the teams that I'm just like, let's go, and we've been up against it right now because I'm like, Bo Nix, Denver Broncos, Sean Payton, this defense, this offensive line, all this type of stuff, and they're not winning right now. And people are like, see, they're not good. They're not good. And I made a video talking about, hey, you know what? The Broncos didn't even play that great against the Chargers, a great team, and yet they were right there. They had the ability to win. And then there was like an avalanche of people being like, oh, the Broncos really aren't that good, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Bo Nix isn't that good. And it's just like, guys, this is where I always talk about like how we got to zoom in and zoom out. Zoom in and zoom out. What lens are we looking at it through? It's never just the same thing. It's never just this singular way of looking at something. And when you pull back a little bit, you're like, this is a young quarterback. This is a newer team. This is going up against the Colts, who again, people thought originally, that's a bad team. They're like, no, it turns out that they're a really darn good team. And then now you're going up against the Chargers, who are undefeated and balling. Justin Herbert is playing great. And the Broncos did so many things to like there, right? So many things to like. But we see how Bix played week 1, and which was just an ugly game all around and just wasn't a good game. It's week 1. Lots of people have ugly games, especially young quarterbacks. And we now imagine that that's what we're seeing every single week with Bo Nix. And now every time he makes a mistake, every time he overthrows ball, throws inaccurately, interception, whatever it is, it's just like we're just watching him against the Titans, or we're watching him last year against the Seahawks and the Steelers, I believe, where we're just like, see, not good. And it's like, guys, like, calm down. Then everyone says, like, he's never beaten a team. He's only beaten like one team with a winning record or whatever. And I already debunked all of that nonsense where I went through all the stats, specifically in the tough games. I put them all together and showed you that Bo Nix was still playing great. Even though the Broncos didn't end up winning those games. You take a game like against the Kansas City Chiefs last year where Bo Nix was the best quarterback on the field and they lost. And it's like, oh no, it's all Bo Nix's fault. Like, I guess, sure. But listen, this team could easily be 3-0. This team could easily be 0-3, just the way how this season is unfolding for them right now. But like this hyper focus on Bo Nix it's the wrong conversation. It's the wrong focus. You want to see Bo continue to develop, continue to grow, continue to evolve, and you do want to see him play fundamentally better. No ifs, ands, or buts. He is still a young quarterback. He is still learning. He is still growing. He is still evolving. He is still learning how to be resilient in the NFL. He is still learning how to fail in the NFL because you need to understand how to fail. Patrick Mahomes needed to know what it was like to get absolutely rocked in the Super Bowl, whether from the Bucs or the Eagles, but really the Bucs, because it was the first time to be like, oh, that's how you lose. That's how you face an epic loss, right? Like you need to have those moments, and these are the moments that Bo Nix and this team is gathering. What I find more indefensible than anything else are the penalties for on both sides of the ball. Like, that is why the Broncos right now are losing these games. If the Broncos stop with the penalties, they would be 3. And I mean, like, the argument is that they would be 3-0. I mean, it was just a penalty field day, specifically, just even against the Chargers. And it's not like some of these penalties are like, well, you know what? You're overwhelmed defensively. Like, of course, you got to tug and hold on to Justin Jefferson. Otherwise, he was going to catch a 75-yard touchdown pass. Like, that's not necessarily the case here. I could be more forgiving of those moments. Or if the defense is just not good enough and you're just like, what are you going to do? Right? Everyone's just trying to keep up here. That's not the case. This is just them being undisciplined and a little disorganized. And so the hope is that they clean this up and they get this going. And I'd like to see them be a lot less aggressive offensively. This has turned into very much like this boomer bust offense. And we saw a little bit of that, especially in the playoff game where like they couldn't get things going as much. And the big play that they did have was a big boom play. And it worked out great. But after that, they couldn't do any of the little things. They couldn't move the chains in a way. And that was one of the most impressive games that I saw out of Bo Nix because he really put that offense on his back. And, you know, he passed with flying colors. And it's like, that's the quarterback that I know Bo Nix to be. But right now, the way how this team, the way how this game, how the flow of the games have unfolded, we haven't really been able to see that quite yet. And so that is where I do want to see. And I think Sean Payne is a great coach. I do want to see him do a better job. He does need to get this team way more disciplined, way more organized. Like both sides of the ball need to understand what they're looking to accomplish in any given moment. And I do want to see Sean Payne slow down Boyks because he really is. It feels very sped up to me, but not in a way that's overwhelmed. Like that's like, I'm not overwhelmed right now. I'm just really excited and really sped up because I'm going. And you could be like, you need to slow down. Tell you need to slow down. That's what Bo Nix need to do. My entire life, my coaches were always trying to get me, slow down. And that is really what I think Sean Payton needs to say to B next. It's like, slow, I know you're big. I know you're strong. I know you got a big arm. But Sean Payton's not helping it out very much because he's dialing up plays to be like, hey, launch the ball. You know, I just want you to let this ball rip as far as you can go. And then they're talking about some of these overthrows. It's by fingertips. How accurately, on a regular basis, do you think these quarterbacks are able to deliver these deep ball throws? I mean, I think, Russell Wilson is one of the best deep ball throwers, and it's 50%. You know, I mean, like these are not high percentage moments. It's like, and when it happens, it's amazing. And when you get a collection of them in a short period of time, you feel like, man, we can do this all the live long day. Go ask how that worked out for Russell Wilson. Not very well. Look at Patrick Mahomes himself. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has overthrown some of these receivers in wide open moments. Like you wouldn't believe. You're just like, oh gosh, you can't get any more open than that. And so we're going to say that it can't happen to Bo Nix in his second season in the third game, the second game of his second season, or whatever game we want to use as a reference point. Like, of course. So that's why, we have to have a lot more grounded of a view of the successes and the failures. But right now, it's just like, I agree with everything Colin said earlier about coaching and the importance of coaching. You guys know that that's a flag that I planted long ago, and I constantly, I constantly bring up, and that's where, like, in this moment, it's like, I'm looking to Sean Payton to slow things down, let this offense feel so much smoother, and not make everything feel so sped up. And the problem is that since they are having a lot of 3 and outs, and they are trying to, like, let it rip nonstop, it just makes every down feel like you're down by 7 in the fourth quarter, and you have the feeling of, like, we really have to score. If we don't score here, we're in trouble. Or you're down by 10, and so, like, we're down 2 scores, and there's only 6 minutes to go. Like, we have to cut this lead. We have to score here. We then have to have a stop, or at the very least, just force a field goal. Then the score will only be 6. You know what? Whatever it is. And then, like, okay, we have a chance, and then we're in this game, and it feels like every down has become that. Even though when it's the second quarter and the score is 10-10, or whatever it is, and you're just like, everything just feels way too intense, way too sped up, way we got to have this moment, and it's happening from the jump. It happened in the Titans game. It happened against the Chargers. It happened against the Colts. Everything feels And when you're in that type of mindset, and now you're getting penalties, you're giving the other team first downs. It's really, again, it's pretty much identical to the feeling of like you're forcing a stop. You're down by 10. You're like, yes, it's 4th and long. They're going to punt now. And then you see there's a flag automatic first down. And you're just like, we just blew it. Like, that was our chance. We just got them off the field. We were going to get decent field position. We were going to get the ball probably around like the 40. All we did was a need to at least get a field goal here to cut it to 1 score. Boom. We're in business. The flag automatic first down. Now they milk more of the clock. Now they kick a field goal. Now you're like, okay, now we need 2 touchdowns rather than just a field goal and a touchdown. Like, and things just kind of spiral. And it's just like, again, we have that feeling somehow in every single quarter of this game, of the games in general. I mean, seriously, it's felt like that way in every single quarter. And you're just like, why is that? Why is that? And it's just discipline, and everything feels sped up. Slow things down. Become more disciplined. Play your brand of football. Play how you want to play rather than this constant feeling of trying to play catch up. And to be clear, it's not really an indicator of the score itself. The reason why I'm using like the score and, in the 4th quarter, because I know as fans, we've all had that feeling watching the games, and you're doing the math, you're doing the calculations, you're understanding, okay, down 1 possession, 2 possessions, whatever it is, we're down 1 possession, but we need a 2-point conversion. Like, we've all been there. You all know the moment, and like, gosh, we got to get a stop here. Got to get a stop here. Got to get the ball back. Got to score, otherwise we're running out of time. And it just seemingly feels that way every quarter, every drive, every down. And it's just like, to me, I'm like Sean Payne, you got to recognize that right now. You got to recognize that, and you got to find a way to slow everything down, to turn the temperature of this team down right now, because it's just, that is the part that feels unsustainable. Not well. Bo Nix is struggling. That's the problem. What do we do here now? He's just not a good quarterback. You got people calling for him to be benched right now, and it's just like, guys, you're losing the plot here. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix? How much you think this is on Bo? How much you think this is on Sean Payne? How much you think this is just on the Broncos team itself as a whole? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun, and please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.